folks, what's going on here? Michael Blongowitz, good to be with you all tonight, this evening, this morning, wherever you are in the world. Today I'm about to go over some information that has never been taught in public schools. You're about to be exposed to some information that can help you show you how to reach your goals faster than you ever thought possible and actually create real lasting change. So we're about to get into it today. I actually going to start off with letting you know here, obviously pay attention very carefully here. The information here can be very life-changing, so make sure you watch the video all the way to the very end. I want to get into it, folks. Been recently reading a book here. I'm going to go ahead and start off. Highly recommend this book. We're going to start it off because tonight's video is going to be all based off of this book. It's called Psycho Cybernetics. And it's by Maxwell Maltz. You can actually get this book. You can get an audio version of this book, or you can get the actual paperback book, or you can get it, if you actually type this into YouTube, you can find the entire audio book available. This is critical, guys, critical. What they talk about in this book here, and what we're about to go over tonight, is self-image. And I don't mean by, self-image just looking at yourself in the mirror, right? You're looking at your reflection and, oh, there I am, right in the mirror, right? That's my self-image. No, we're talking about the way you look at yourself and perceive yourself, almost like your self-worth. So let's go ahead and get into this. Make sure you jot this down. Definitely check this out and get the audiobook as soon as you can. So let's get right into it, folks. Your self-image and why that's so important, and why that was never taught in elementary school and middle school and high school, all those things. So your self-image, folks, and the word cybernetic, let me just get into that real quick. What a cybernetic mechanism is, I'll give you a couple of examples, but for one example, you probably know the thermostat in your home, right? The thermostat in your home. Well, for me, I live in Maryland, right? So it's cold for some of the year, and some of the other year, it's quite hot. But in the wintertime, usually you set the thermostat for about 70 degrees, right? So you set it here about 70. 70 degrees. And if you ever notice, you might be sitting around, maybe reading the newspaper, watching TV, and all of a sudden you feel a draft coming in. And then you go to check the thermostat, and the thermostat dropped down to 65. So it went down to 65 degrees. What happens at that point? You'll notice, right? The furnace kicks on. The fire comes in. The heat starts to get pumping. It pumps through the house to bring it back up to 70. Because that's the thermostat. That's the cybernetic mechanism that automatically keeps things on course, right? So that's one example of a cybernetic mechanism. It's the thermostat in your home. Another one is actually, I'll give you the example of an airplane, right? An airplane. See if I can draw one here. Don't mind my drawing here. It's got the wings here. You got an airplane, right? That actually kind of looks like a whale, but it's actually an airplane. An airplane, you got, say, starts off here at point A, and it's flying over here to point B. Let's just call this New York, and let's call this over here Hawaii. So the plane takes off in New York and is headed towards Hawaii. Well, the planes nowadays have a cybernetic mechanism built into the plane, which basically keeps them on course, right? And it always corrects the course if something goes off. So if you're flying along here, right, and you hit some turbulence, and you kind of get knocked off course, then the cybernetic mechanism inside the plane kicks in and gets it back on course, headed towards the proper destination, right? Hawaii. So that's another example of a cybernetic mechanism. And why I'm explaining this exactly is because a cybernetic mechanism, that's how our self-image works, right? Our self-image is a way that we see ourselves, and no matter what we do in our lives, we're always going to come back to our self-image level. We're always going to be consistent with that because that's the way we operate. That's the way the human body is designed. So let me just go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to draw a circle here. Draw a line through it. Underneath the bottom part here, this is your subconscious mind. Actually, yeah, subconscious mind. Subconscious. Spell right. Subconscious mind. And above here, this is your conscious mind. I think I spelled that wrong. Conscious. Let's see there. That's just conscious mind, subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind, this is really your old self-image. So your subconscious mind is really your old self-image. And if I don't know if how many of you know this, but your subconscious mind is basically what dictates and directs your entire life. And all of the actions and behaviors that you have really come from the subconscious mind. It's actually things that we're not quite aware of. And folks, this information is so vital, and I'll get into that in just a moment, but your old self-image here, an example. So let's just give you a quick example. What could be an example of this image that you have of yourself? Well, in today's society, many people feel that they are overweight. So, well, right here at the bottom, your subconscious mind, overweight. So that's what you think of yourself, right? And your conscious mind, your aware mind, might make a decision, I'm going to go on a diet. I want to lose weight. That's what your conscious mind is thinking. I want to lose weight, so I'm going to go on a diet, and I'm going to exercise more. So the conscious mind, I'm going to diet. And folks, many of us are aware that obviously so many people go on diets. There's, I don't even know, hundreds of thousands of diet books out there. And the majority of people that go on a diet end up reverting right back to their original weight. So why is that? Well, the issue there is, again, it comes back to self-image. The self-image of that person, what they hold of themselves, is that they're overweight. The conscious mind says, I'm going to go on a diet and I'm going to exercise. So they go ahead and do that. They start eating healthier, they start to exercise. But because they have not changed their self-image of themselves, the body's cybernetic mechanism is actually going to automatically bring them back to exactly where they were before they consciously made the decision to go on a diet and to lose weight. Why is that? Because your body, again, is always going to go back and be consistent with your self-image, because that's just how our body works. And whatever self-image you have of yourself, that is what you're going to revert back to. So, without changing this, you're going to go ahead, you might lose some weight initially, you might lose weight, but the weight is going to end up coming back inevitably because the self-image hasn't changed and your image of yourself is still being overweight. So let me give you another example. And I'll do this one. This one, folks, is one that I wish I had known going through school. And I know that there's so many parents out there that don't know this concept. So, remember, the bottom is the subconscious mind. This is the self-image. The top part is the conscious mind. So an image you may have of yourself is that you're a D student. A D student. That's the self-image of yourself. And the conscious mind says, well, I want to do better as a student, so I'm going to study more. I'm going to be let's just say a B student. And we're talking about grades here. The D, getting grades in school, and the B. This one opened up a huge light bulb for me, because this actually kind of explained why I went to school always getting like a C average. I actually thought of myself as a C student I thought of myself as just somebody being able to get by, I didn't change my self-image of myself to see myself as an A student, as somebody that excels in school, so I always ended up kind of barely getting by, getting C grades. And this actually explains why. So you got a D student. Now, say you got a child, right? A parent has a child that thinks of themselves as a D student. That parent wants that child to do better, so they may go out and get tutors. They may go out and they may actually spend a lot of extra time with that student. That student may end up cramming for some tests, right? And actually, that change might happen. That student may end up getting like a B+ on a test. Well, that may happen for a short period of time, but that's temporary. Why is that? Bottom line is that child has not changed its self-image of himself or herself. So the body, always correcting itself, right, will actually revert back to being a D student. So again, self-image is huge there, and I think, you know, most adults, parents don't realize this, and the children, of course, don't know it either, and it's almost like you don't know what you don't know. If this information, you know, they don't know better, so they think that by trying to please other people, right, and because the parents might want the child to get better grades, the child's doing it for the parent. They're not changing their self-image at the core level, right? So temporary change may happen, but long-lasting change will not happen. So hopefully that brings some clarity to you folks. Self-image is huge, and until you change that, you can't really expect lasting results. And it's kind of the same thing financially too. If you think of yourself as, let's just say here, if you grew up, let's see here, thinking of yourself as a, let's just say $30,000 a year earner, right? This is your image, $30,000. But up here, you really want to be a six-figure earner. You really want to earn $100,000 a year. No matter how much you strive for that $100,000, no matter how much effort you go out there to go after that $100,000 per year income, without changing your self-image of being a $30,000 earner per year, you're going to go out there, you may make a couple gains here and there, you may, one month, maybe earn more than you usually do, but in the end, you're going to come back down to a $30,000 per year earner because you haven't changed your core belief in your core belief of your self-image. So example, let's just say that you are a $100,000 earner per year, right? $100,000. And along this path here, say you're coming along here, and 1 month you kind of get off course, right? Maybe you only make $5,000 that month, right? Well, because you only make $5,000 a month, that's not going to equate to $100,000 per year. So your body, this cybernetic mechanism will kick in and actually get you back on course. It's going to correct your course. That's what it does. It automatically corrects your course back to your self-image, which is $100,000 per year, brings it back down, and you end up finishing the year with a $100,000 income. So folks, this is the key, and they go way more into this in the Psycho-Cybernetics book by Maxwell Maltz. They go way more into it. I kind of just touched on it briefly here, but folks, right here, this pretty much unlocks the keys to reaching your goals and really getting to your desired outcome and having lasting change. Because I think a lot of us go through life with patterns that we don't actually realize why they're happening. And the reason is because we haven't changed our self-image of ourselves. And by doing that, that actually shifts our entire paradigm of our lives, which sets us up for really whatever we want, whatever our self-image is. So, hope this helps for you all. Hope this guys gave you some insight here, some value that you can take away. Again, check out the audiobook on YouTube. Do a search of the book and the author that I told you about, and you'll find way more information. It's going to go more into depth about this and how you can create your own self-image of yourself so that you can create the future of whatever it is you want. Whatever fantasy, whatever dream that you have, you can actually manifest it. But without learning this key concept, the chances of failing are actually very good. So I'll give you guys another pointer here. If you really want to take these things to the next level and create self-image of yourself, that you can basically create anything you want in your life and create the financial life that you've had, because really the best way to determine what your self-image is of yourself now is to look in the past or look currently. What's your relationships like right now? What's your financial situation? What's your spirituality like these days? What's your exercise? What's your weight level? All of these things are a reflection of our self-image. So it's not good or bad. It's just it's kind of a measurement to see where you are with your self-image, and that's the best way to do it, is to see where you are now with all of those areas. But if you really want to take things to the next level, folks, I left a link below. Click on that link below, type your information in, watch the free video, and you'll be shown yet another way to take things to a higher level in your life, to have a better self-image, to have more financial freedom, better relationships, and a deeper sense of spirituality. Click on the link below, folks, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.